Now I'll show you how to make the cover for this irregular shaped cushion. This one's a lot fluffier and it has a cutout here, but it's mostly a rectangle. So we're going to start with the rectangle shape, and again you want to measure from seam to seam, and I have 20 inches here. Sometimes if you stretch it, you'll see you have even more. So this is 21 inches, and then the long way, it's 30 inches. So we're going to the 21 inches, we'll add 1 1/4 inch to that measurement for the seam allowances. We have 2 5/8 seam allowances on each side. That's 1 1/4 inch. So we're adding that to the 21 inches. And to the 30 inches, we'll add the 1 1/4 inch because we have 2 seam allowances there. And we'll cut out those rectangles, and then I'll show you how to cut this little bend out of that. Okay, now I've cut my rectangles to the basic rectangle shape of this irregular pillow. Now I want to cut out this curve here. So you want to line up your pillow with the seam allowance hanging out on the rectangle portion. So along this edge, I have the 5/8 seam allowance hanging out here when I put the cushion down, and over here. So now if I just squash that cushion down to the edge and then trace out that curve along that edge, along that curved edge, just mark that curve, and then we'll add to it the 5/8 seam allowance. So I'll cut it 5/8 inches away from the actual curve. Now I have the 2 pieces, and we want them to be wrong sides together or right sides together, so that we end up with 2 opposites, so that the cushion will when you sew the 2 pieces of the cushion together, they'll be the correct way. So you want to make sure that you have them with the wrong sides together or the right sides together when you do your cutting. And then you just cut that curve, giving the 5/8 seam allowance. And I'm cutting 2 pieces at once so that they match up perfectly. Okay? And then we want to measure for our side panels and our bottom panel. For our bottom panel, I'm going to use a Velcro closure. And this is what it will look like. It will have, I just did a small sample here to show you just a short piece of Velcro. But the Velcro will run all along, and we'll be folding back an inch of fabric and attaching Velcro to the top of one piece, and then on the other portion we'll be folding it in also and attaching the Velcro to the inside portion. And when they go together, they'll go like that. They'll overlap each other on the Velcro, and the closure will look like this. Okay? So to measure for that, you want to measure, again, from seam to seam, and I have 3.5 inches here. And to that, we want to add 4.5 inches wide to accommodate the folding over and the overlapping for the Velcro. So this panel will measure from here to here. This is about 24 inches long, so the length of your cushion, and then the width of your cushion plus 4.5 inches. Then we'll cut that piece in half and add the Velcro.